This is EA Sports coverage of the PGA Tour. What really sets Quail Hollow apart here at the Wells Fargo Championship, the brutal finishing stretch. They call it the Green Mile, and we are excited to bring you all of the tournament action. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo. Been some outstanding shot making to this point. Let's see what's happening now as we resume the action at the 7th. Nothing noteworthy here in the first round, Frank, but still plenty of golf to be played.
That's right, Rich. A little bit of a dry spell, but really not a lot of damage done.
Good contact, good result. Frank, we remember what Rory McIlroy did here in 2010, his first PGA Tour victory, a 62 in the final round. It was also the first victory for Ricky Fowler.
Yeah, and oddly enough, it was in a playoff, and in that playoff, Ricky just pulled out a driver and smashed it down there, then hit a sand iron to that front left flag. Basically the gimme distance. Not only did he win in the playoff, but he beat Rory McIlroy, the then world #1 in DA points. And that was the same Ricky Fowler that, remember, in the playoff in 2015 for the Players' Championship, drove the ball in.
Has it now sitting at 2 under par for the tournament. Out of the short par 4-8 here at Quail Hollow, just 350 yards. Frank, players can lay it up and just hit a little baby wedge into the green, but why not go for it in one, try to make something happen?
I think both plans work well, Rich. This is one of those holes, the more you think about it, the more complicated it gets. You're going to lay it up, lay it up. If you're going to go for it, just aim at that tree and hit it down there. Just take your medicine.
This is just a superb performance. Great round to this point, Frank, and you can really see that reflected in his mood today.
Yeah, it just looks too easy. Swinging the club beautifully. Ball's going exactly where he wants it to. He's not trying to take too many risks. So consequently, he's getting birdie opportunity after birdie opportunity.
This could be really good, Frank.
Oh, straight at it.
He has given this one the full treatment. Perfect release through the ball. And this shot, he is on the fairway, over 300 yards. Just a short shot into this par 4/8. So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now I'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. See if he does it here.
And he's made it onto the green now. Locked in on the read and the speed. Wow, that was so close, Frank.
Just time to forget that one. I mean, he couldn't hit that much better.
Just a couple of feet. Call in the medics, Frank. Can't stop the bleeding here.
Just racking the bogeys up.
Here we are at the 9th hole at Quail Hollow, 495-yard par 4. Frank, it is the longest par 4 on the golf course. Is it, in your estimation, the toughest?
I think the green stops it from being the toughest, Rich, because it does kick in from either side. But when you see holes like this, there's no surprise why the Rory McIlroys and the Rickie Fowlers have won around here. This is just a great driving par 4.
Frank, Rory McIlroy had his coming out party on the PGA Tour right here at Quail Hollow. That was in 2010. You remember that final round 62?
You certainly do, Rich. That great finish, the post 62. Personally, I thought that was the best round shot in 2010. And not just because it was his first win, but it showed you what he was capable of. And then obviously we've got to see that ever since.
This one looks like it's headed right for the middle of the dance floor, Frank.
Rather nice shot, I would say.
Wow, what a day. Every green hit in regulation. A makeable putt right here. He is currently sitting at 1 under par. Setting himself up for a good weekend, the Wiley golf instructor makes his birdie. Well, that was a nearly flawless performance on the front side, but Frank, we know it's an 18-hole game, isn't it?
That's right. Now's not the time to pat yourself on the back. There's something about a well-hit shot.
That's a good spot right there.
Center cut.
He just blasted that one down the fairway. Out there about 325 yards. Looks like he's going to have a go at it here at the par 5, his second shot. That's one of the more depressing sights in golf. You've hit a good one, and then it just sucks back too much spin off the green. Second shot here at the par 5 10th. Chance to make something happen. Get down. Lay down. Just averted danger right there. So close.
Why does he have all the luck?
Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Almost. Wow. Well, there's an opportunity wasted.
Just knocking in for a par, and let's forget about this one. Golf is not about perfect, but it is going to hurt the cause.
Doesn't dig into the lead with that par, but Frank, sometimes, and you know this as well as anyone, you just have to kind of maintain your footing out there. Back here at the par 4 11th at Quail Hollow, set to tee off. What's the right game plan here, Frank?
Oh, there's two really. That left bunker off the tee, it's about 265 yards to get it on the fairway, or 308 yards, 310 yards run out there. I've seen players just try and carry the bunker, sort of set up a short iron. And I've seen players like Rory McIlroy just try and blast a driver with a hook on it. Both strategies have worked. Well, that's got to be 300 yards, isn't it?
This one will play a little bit longer. It's up the hill to that green. Good swing, good shot yet again. Terrific golf shot. And now that for an easy birdie. Just 5 feet left. And with that, birdie moves into a tie for the lead.
We've got ourselves a battle right now, Rich. Rich, in that great opportunity, name on top of the leaderboard. It is only round one.
Good place to be. Presented by EA Sports in association with the PGA Tour. Welcome to the home of the Wells Fargo Championship, where the likes of Rory McIlroy, Ricky Fowler, and long-hitting J.B. Holmes have all won. It was first opened for play in 1961. It has really grown through the years, and it is now played by the best in the world. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo for EA Sports. Let's jump down to the golf course. Here we are at the par 5 fifth. It's 570 yards. Frank, this should be reachable for most players, don't you think?
Yeah, if you hit a good tee shot, especially with the draw, it will be. But the hardest part of this is judging that kick on the fairway that kicks the ball to the right. And it sort of turns at that awkward area at where the top of your tee shot range. That's where that dog leg is.
Great strike and great result. Setting up, good chance to attack the flag. Good lie in the fairway. Good chance to make something happen here. Frank, this is good golfing weather. Nice strong breeze.
Oh, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like.
Well, Mr. Ball does not meet Mr. Fairway. It's off, rough.
He'll need to be strong with this. What a display of shot making this has been, Frank.
Oh, that incredible approach shot there. The easiest of birdies coming up.
Now this for birdie came away with par in the previous round. So one shot closer to the lead with that birdie. Wow, Frank, this is all you want in a par 3. 250 yards here at the 6th.
Hey, that's what these guys need, especially in a PGA championship. Fortunately, the hole plays a little bit downhill, but 250, whichever way you cut it, is a big par 3. Oh, solid strike right in the heart of the green.
Didn't check, Frank.
Yeah, just not enough spin on that, really. I mean, that almost like took that first bounce and just ricocheted forward.
Frank, just into that first cut.
Yeah, it's sitting up. Really, this isn't too bad a situation.
So from the rough back to the fairway, that's the right way to go.
Yeah, didn't take the bait, and at least now he's only going to play the price of a poor tee shot. Still got a good chance, though, getting away with par.
And he's made the green. And getting ready for the putt. Just misses. That's about as depressing a moment as there is in golf. When you miss the bogey putt, you know you're staring at double. And this will be a 5-foot putt here. Once you hit double par, it is time to just pick up and move on. Count that as a triple bogey. Ouch. Well, Frank, an eagle is in play here at the par 5 7th.
And a 6 and a 7 and an 8 or a 9, actually. This is a potential scorecard record, the 7th hole. Many a tee shot has found that creek on the right, trees, problems on the left. There's no question there's a reward for a good tee shot here. But then there's a decision on, do you go for this par 5 and 2? It's not overly long, just over 530 yards. It is very tempting. Nice.
Looks good. Oh, this looks good.
Certainly is.
That one is in the fairway, down there about 290 yards. Well, Frank, the wind is really starting to pick up.
You've got to fixate on the direction now. If you get the direction wrong and or mistime one of those gusts, all sorts of problems.
Frank, the beauty of golf, we're not playing inside a dome with no wind. You have to be able to handle the elements.
You do, and that's really where the better player comes through. On a day like today, anything around par is going to be a good score, so just adjust your own mental par.
Good-looking shot right here. Getting set now over the putt. Wow, that hurt.
It did. Shot gone forever.
This would give him the par. Well, not in contention, but in for par. Frank, I love a drivable par 4. In the modern power game, it really adds an element of excitement. And here we go at the 350-yard par 4/8.
Well, you're definitely going to love this one then, Rich, because it ticks all the boxes here. There's no water in play, just a few bunkers down the left and the one that protects the right side of the green. And you've got a really narrow green, so plenty of reward with minimal risk. Oh, if this is up, it's good. That's an absolute beauty.
So this is where club selection becomes much more important. Uphill, make sure you have enough stick, and then swing away. No problems there. Really good approach shot. And now, good look at birdie.
It's no snack, though.
Well, Frank, it's our job to get excited.
You can't when you leave it short, though.
I'm sad.
He's making my job hard.
Always take that. Good par putt right there. Here we are at the 9th hole at Quail Hollow, 495-yard par 4. Frank, it is the longest par 4 on the golf course. Is it, in your estimation, the toughest?
I think the green stops it from being the toughest, Rich, because it does kick in from either side. But when you see holes like this, there's no surprise why the Rory McIlroys and the Rickie Fowlers have won around here. This is just a great driving par 4. Long and straight.
That's how you do it. He has given this one the full treatment. Perfect release through the ball, and this shot is on the fairway, over 300 yards.
Second shot. This looks like it's going to find the target.
Well, that one didn't work out. It didn't look bad in the air. It hit the green, but didn't sit.
Yeah, it was never going to stop.
Solid play, heart of the green. Different day, different hole. Made bogey yesterday. He'll do better this time, it looks like. Well, you can see the golfer is just boiling right now after that miss. And a drop shot here at the ninth. Something about this hole, it has not been kind. Bogey yesterday and staring at another one today. Frank, it's been that kind of a tournament. Another bogey.
Yeah, it's not exactly a small gap between that player there and the rest of the field. That gap's got to feel like the Grand Canyon right now.
So 2 rounds in the books. Frank, that was fun.
It certainly was. It bodes well for the weekend. Saw a lot of good players that seem to actually have a good fit for this golf course. That bodes well for the next 36 holes.
EA Sports is proud to present today's PGA Tour coverage. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo set to call all the action here at the Wells Fargo Championship. We are at Quail Hollow, and Frank, it is really one of the best courses on tour.
It is the great state of North Carolina, where Donna Ross developed so many great courses. They're the sort of courses that we're used to seeing, but this is a relatively new golf course. First opened up in 1961, but it certainly fits in with the North Carolina landscape. Mature trees, holes well cut out, beautiful greens, and interesting finish.
How do you like that finishing stretch? They call it the Green Mile.
Some might think it's purgatory, but I think it's the perfect touch to a great golf course.
Beautiful looking shot right here. Good contact, good result. Those are good numbers right there. 320, 320 yards. Just crushed it in the fairway. Second shot coming up here at the par 5. Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Early part of his back nine and a good approach shot. Now we'll have this for birdie. Birdie putt coming up. Had a par on this hole yesterday.
Good try, just didn't quite read the break, Frank.
It shouldn't be a problem, you'd think, cleaning up here for par.
Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read.
Frank, you can see by the reaction, it has been that kind of week. Just a few too many pars. Now to the par 4 11. Frank, what do you think of this hole?
It's an interesting hole, Rich, and I'm curious to see how aggressive players will play here today. The easy way, obviously, is just hit it down the right side and set up a nice second shot with a short iron. Or the most fun way is to take the big stick out and try and bite off as much of that corner as you choose, but be prepared to pay the price should it not come off.
Frank, did you hear the sound of that coming off the club face?
It was like a cannon.
Frank, not overly long, but still a pretty good spot and in the fairway.
Yeah, that's in that 280 mark.
Frank, what's your thinking on this approach shot here at the 11th?
The second shot here at 11 is anything other than straightforward. There's a bit of a ridge in the middle of the screen, so there's a tendency for that ball to roll around a little bit. Be precise.
So a chance for birdie after another solid approach shot.
Really? This is an awkward length.
Frankie took plenty of time on this birdie putt. He looked at it from 3 different angles. He forgot one very important ingredient.
Yeah, pace. You can definitely fall in love with the line, even with approach shots as well, but obviously we see it more on putting.
Good effort and good par putt. Here we are now at the 12th, and Frank, this is a beautiful but dangerous hole, par 4.
It is in a number of ways. The hole bends gently to the right, which you'd think would favor a nice little fade, but the fairway just seems to shrink up. I've seen this fairway missed by so many good players. And plus its yardage, 450 odd. You can't really lay back too far, otherwise you've got too long for your second shot.
Frank, what's so compelling about rivalries in sports is that athletes need each other if they're going to go to great heights. Joe Frazier needed Muhammad Ali to solidify his legend. Jack Nicklaus probably needed Arnold Palmer to go to a place that he had not been. And I think that's true across the board as we look at rivalries in sports.
I think it defines careers, Rich. It's not until those players retire that they realized how important it was to have that foe. So often we're living in the present like we are now with Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy. And it's not for years to come that we'll realize the sport wouldn't have been the same with one without the other.
And now it's right in his wheelhouse, good position where he can attack the pin.
Yeah, he has all those options now. With that ball sitting up, you can bring it in high, you can bring it in low. The choice is yours.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special. There's a big green, and they're going to use every inch of it.
Well, that is an exceptional shot on the green and in position for a birdie.
Yeah, it's a formality now.
See if he can go one better than yesterday when he made par. This putt for birdie. Came to the putt excited to make birdie. Now, settle for par.
Yeah, a little change in the attitude right now. When you've let one go, you've got to really knuckle down there and make sure you don't drop a shot. It's important this one goes in.
That is a solid par putt.
Here we are at the par 3, 13th hole. It's 210 yards. What does it take here, Frank?
It's one actually where you'd rather be conservative than aggressive here. And the reason why is this green tends to roll off at the back and the front and the middle there. So it's just something that pitches more in the central part of the green is really what's required.
Another good swing, and it looks like, Frank, another really good shot.
That's well played. Now a good look at birdie. Made par yesterday. This one for birdie.
How did that not go in? Just a fraction too aggressive. Remember, line and speed go together.
Sometimes you want that birdie so badly, and all of a sudden you're faced with a lot of work, more work than you had hoped for, just to make the par. Wow, he got robbed, Frank.
No, it's like kissing your mother-in-law.
Makeable putt right here, currently sitting at 1 under for the round. Frank, nothing really went the player's way this week.
Yeah, if this was motor racing, you'd say it's a case of having 4 flat tires.
Wow, Frank, this is a really good little par 4, isn't it, the 14th?
It is, and this is where one of those strong 3-woods comes in. The last 50 or 60 yards as the ball kicks down and towards the left, and it sounds like an aggressive play, but like a hard 3-wood trying to run it down there is actually not a bad play.
Is it drivable?
It is drivable, but it's whether it's worth the risk.
A great way to start a hole, nicely placed in the fairway. And here at 14, another chance to make a birdie with the right approach shot.
Yeah, laying back there a lengthy way in, the green will still kick to the left. So even though it's a wedge in hand, you've got to aim right at this flag.
About 18 feet away with a decent look.
It's no snack though.
Well, that would have been a bonus had it gone in, but still, reasonable chance for par here.
Yeah, there's no damage. You're not going to birdie every hole.
Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Those keep the round going, those par putts. Now at the par 5, 15th hole, 577 yards. Frank, you remember what Rory McIlroy did here in 2010, that final round, 62?
I certainly do, Rich. That was an amazing run on the second 9. And holes like this, too. He just stood up here with a driver and just obliterated it down there with a nice draw. Took those bunkers out of play and just set up a mid-iron.
Well, this one's sweet, Frank.
Super. Long and straight.
That's how you do it. They'll be pretty happy with that 290-yard poke off the tee. Okay, the second shot now at this par 5. Third shot, looking for a good one.
birdie try up next. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point.
Frank, we haven't seen a whole lot of that, but no doubt it feels good. Day 3, and what a tournament this is shaping up to be, Frank.
Quite simply, great weather, great golf, great fans, which is the perfect mix for a golfer trying to win a tournament. The final round, if this is anything to go by, has to just be sensational.
EA Sports is proud to present PGA Tour coverage. Thanks for joining us here today in Charlotte, North Carolina for the final round of the Wells Fargo Championship. Frank, what do we have out here today?
Well, if history has a chance of repeating itself, remember those great closing rounds by Rory McIlroy, that 62, that was one of the best rounds ever shot that year back in 2010. And, of course, that playoff, too. Ricky Fowler back in 2012. We actually beat out then world number one Rory McIlroy with that stunning drive down the finishing hole and brilliant wedge to a tight flag. This golf course, it can give it, it can take it away. But for us, from where we're sitting, Rich, we'll enjoy the view today.
No doubt about it.
There's something about a well-hit shot.
Oh, this looks good.
Certainly is. I've seen some long tee shots, but it's the advantage to tee that ball up, get it up there quickly, get the wind behind you. It's amazing how far you can hit it.
Now the second shot to the par 5.
Whoop, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like. That one ends up in the rough.
Oh, that went sideways.
Ball sitting down here in the rough. He's digging in.
Chance for birdie after that beautiful shot.
Par yesterday. Now for birdie. This one has a good line. Oh, he's going to love it. Great putt. Frank, on this backside at Quail Hollow, a player does have a good chance to get off to a good start with that par 5 10th and now a relatively short par 4 11th, where a player with a good drive could stick a short iron in their hands.
Yeah, this is one you're going to have to make a decision. You can just play this as a straightforward dogleg left par 4 and hit a 3-wood or a long iron up there and 9-iron or something like that into the green. Or, if you want to, you can try and blast a drive around the corner. I don't know if that's the more prudent play, but it's fun.
Frank, the handicap system in golf really is the great equalizer, isn't it?
Yeah, there's no sport like it. I can't imagine going to Wimbledon and playing, sort of Djokovic or Federer or, playing NFL with Peyton Manning. But, the beauty of golf, we can go out in a golf course. We decide what our handicaps are on the first tee. We decide who's going to get strokes, and then off you go and play. And you play on a level playing field.
Good tee shot, good lie, and now a good chance to take advantage here on this hole. This looks to be at least an extra club, maybe 2 clubs going way up that hill to the green. Good swing, good shot yet again.
That is an excellent play right there. The approach, giving him another good look. Not a gimme, but well within his range. Frankie took plenty of time on this birdie putt. He looked at it from 3 different angles. He forgot one very important ingredient.
Yeah, pace. You can definitely fall in love with the line, even with approach shots as well, but obviously we see it.
Frank, you can see by the reaction, it has been that kind of week. Just a few too many pars. Par 4 12th here at Quail Hollow, 456 yards. Frank, break it down for us.
Well, there's no fairway bunkers either side, so you feel like there's nothing to work the ball off, and consequently, it's very easy to sneak it in the rough on the left or the right, and then that makes that second shot so much more difficult going up the hill. This is one hole that you have to pick a line on. You really have to know your line off the tee. There's a nice big tree down there in the distance. That's the one you want to work it off.
That's a good spot right there.
Center cut.
And now it's right in his wheelhouse. Good position where he can attack the pin.
Yeah, he has all those options now. With that ball sitting up, you can bring it in high, you can bring it in low. The choice is yours.
Second shot. Good look at the green. Try up next. Made a par in his previous round. This time, it's for birdie. Well, the time is now to start making birdies, and there we go. One on the board, and suddenly inside the top 20.
Yeah, nothing to be ashamed of in that, but really, you've got to be aggressive from here on in. Oh, solid strike right in the heart of the green.
And it makes the green in regulation.
This one just requires a little bit of focus. Close. Couldn't ask for much more on that putt. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. Just singes the edge, Frank.
Yeah, but at least he's burning the edges. You know you're hitting good putts.
Frank, it's been that kind of a tournament. Another bogey.
Yeah, it's not exactly a small gap between that player there and the rest of the field. That gap's got to feel like the Grand Canyon right now.
Frank couldn't ask for anything more.
Just the lie there, too. It is sitting up like it's teed up.
Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on that. Easy birdie.
It's the beautiful part of golf. Brand new day, new hole. Remember, he made a bogey here yesterday. This time for birdie. That birdie will help, Frank.
Certainly moving into the top half, that's for sure. And starting to narrow that number down in front.
Now as we arrive at the par 5 15th hole here at Quail Hollow, 577 yards, Frank, I think a player has to be thinking about doing what Rory McIlroy did in 2010.
It's the last of the holes that you can really be aggressive on, Rich. So a good drive down here. I'm well aware of the fact that there's water on the left. This is a good chance to make something happen before you play the green mile.
And that's what McIlroy did. Hit a tracer, then a 5-iron, knocked it in for eagle, shot 62, and won for the first time on the PGA Tour. Pretty good drive here.
Another straight one.
Frank, not overly long, but still a pretty good spot and in the fairway.
Yeah, that's in that 280 mark.
Playing his second shot here at the par 5. Now his third, staring right at the green. Good chance now after that approach shot for a birdie.
Oh, he was so precise coming in, and the measurement is 9 feet away.
See if he can go one better than yesterday when he made par. This putt for birdie. Starting to move now, Frank, on this leaderboard.
Certainly going all in the positive direction. In the middle of the pack, now top 15.
At last, we have arrived at the start of one of the most daunting finishing stretches in all of golf. They call it the Green Mile, 16, 17, and 18 here at Quail Hollow. The 16th is a par 4, 508 yards, Frank.
And this hole was made even more difficult when they pushed that green further left to bring the water more in play with the second shot. I mean, it's a great par 4. It's strong in every single department.
Excellent start off the tee. That's a great way to begin this hole. Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
That's well played. Now a good look at birdie. Birdie try again here today. Well, Frank, it's our job to get excited.
You can't when you leave it short, though.
I'm sad.
He's making my job hard.
So a tester from 4 feet. And he makes it for par.
Frank, this is all you want in a par 3, especially late in the round. You have to carry the water. You have to deal with the pressure. At 221 yards, this requires a player's very best.
On the process of elimination, don't go long, don't go left, don't go short, and right is marginal. It doesn't leave you with much.
That one was running so high. Ready for a second shot, trying to knock it on the green. And he's made it onto the green now. For par.
A good solid stroke there, no sign of nerves on that.
Now to the finishing hole here at Quail Hollow. Frank, what can we expect?
If there was a name for this hole, Rich, it should be called Narrows. The creek that meanders its way down the left side and actually divides that hole into really half the size of what a normal par 4 should be. That makes it hard. The bunker on the right is your bailout area, just over 290 yards to get past that, and then the narrowest green that still sits up against the lake. This is just a brutal finish.
Frank, what's the player need to watch out for here at 18?
That false front doesn't finish till at least 8 or 9 yards on, Rich, and then you've got 2 different tiers. Plus, it's a narrow green. Club selection here is just so important. This looks like it's going to find the target.
So maybe a nice way to finish up with a good approach here to the 18th and a good chance for birdie. Made par yesterday, this one for birdie. Just misses. Came to the putt excited to make birdie. Now, settle for par.
Yeah, little change in the attitude right now. When you've let one go, you've got to really knuckle down there and make sure you don't drop a shot. It's important that this one goes in.
That's a painful miss right there. Getting set now over the putt. Well, too bad he gives one back.
Another thriller from here at Quail Hollow in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo. And for all of us here at EA Sports, so long until next time. NBC Golf Channel on EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live opening round coverage of the Players. We're at the TPC Sawgrass in Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida, for one of the game's most prestigious titles, the Players Championship. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo. Heading out to the action now, we pick up with our featured golfer at hole number 10. Nothing noteworthy here in the first round, Frank, but still plenty of golf to be played.
That's right, Rich. A little bit of a dry spell, but really not a lot of damage done. There's always advantage of hitting it further than most, Rich, and straighter than most. When you put the two together, it's just straight up a head start.
Second shot now at the 10th, and again, Frank, accuracy is at a premium.
Yeah, gone are the days to sort of thrash it out of the trees like Phil Mickelson. Ideally, coming out of that fairway, you're hitting to a green that moves to the right, so that makes it a little bit more difficult than what the mind's eye first sees.
Well, it looks as though they're going to need to use all their strength to sort of hack it out of that rough, missing it off the tee here. You have to think he'll be happy with that, given that it looked like it was headed right for the rough.
Yeah, it looked like that was the only place it was going to finish, but, well, it's a little bit unexplainable. Let's see what he does from here now. Lucky break.
A birdie will send him to 1 under on the leaderboard. Now to the 11th, par 5.
Good tee shot, and then you certainly think about hitting a hybrid or a lofted fairway wood into this green that's really narrow, one of the narrowest on the golf course. There's a little pot bunker left of this green when you go for 2 that often swallows up that second shot if it's a little bit too conservative. But there's a lake there. Seen more than one ball splash in the pond over the years.
Well, that is a really good tee shot right there, Frank.
I think that tipped the 300-yard mark.
Looks like he's going to have a go at it here at the par 5, his second shot. Into the tall cabbage. That ball is swallowed up. Ball sitting down here in the rough. He's digging in. Birdie try up next. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Has it now sitting at 2 under par for the tournament. Up now, hole number 12. It's a short one, 358-yard, par 4.
This can catch you off guard. If you just try and hit the ball on the fairway, if you're on the middle of the fairway, the left side, you will have a blind second shot. So ideally, hit it down that right side of the fairway if you want to see the flag. Oh, beautiful swing, and the result is every bit as good.
Well, this looks good.
Certainly is.
Frank, this is just a pleasure to watch. A player hitting on all cylinders at the top of his game.
Notice it's just flowing, too. There's not a lot of deep analysis going through his mind. Just one step in front of the other. If your swing's there, you don't have to find it. If your putting stroke's there, you don't have to find it. Just let it happen.
Frank, why are great rivalries so important? Why do we love them?
I think because people like to sit on one side of the fence. You're either for or against a great player. And I think we see that today with Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy. There's the McIlroy fans that think his future is so bright. There's the Woods fans that still want him to pass Jack Nicklaus's record. That's the beauty. You've got to have an opinion, and you have to have a player.
That is an exceptional shot on the green and in position for a birdie.
Yeah, it's a formality now.
Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. Needs a few more of those. That was a good birdie.
Yeah, this time that one gets him in the top 10.
One of the great things about this golf course, Frank, a variety of par threes, different yardages. Here at the 13th, 181-yard par three.
Yeah, this is where you have to be careful on the tee there. Anything left's just going to be eaten up by that lake. Matter of fact, if you hit one with a little bit of a hook and it catches the mound, it can still kick into the lake. So this one here, just be a little cautious on the tee. This is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like.
Well, that's the best that was going to be, on the fringe.
Not too bad.
Second shot.
Solid play, heart of the green. Shouldn't be a problem here. Nice par to remain 3 under. Now one of the most demanding holes on this golf course, the 14th, 481-yard par 4.
If you ever want a litmus test at TPC Sawgrass on who's playing well, check the tee shots on 14. If you stripe it down here, you know you're driving the ball well. Too often we see people messing with the mounds on the right. Oh, they've had some meat behind it.
Frank, there's a lot to factor in on this approach at the 14th.
You can favor right side of this green and sort of allow the contours of the green just to move that ball to the left.
Well, this one should be safely on deck here. That will be a great look at birdie. This one just requires a little bit of focus. That's a birdie. That's a good position from which to make a weekend move, comfortably inside the cut line, still with plenty of time left in this tournament. NBC Golf Channel on EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live second-round coverage of the Players. Hello again and welcome. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo, coming to you from one of the game's most famous venues, the TPC Sawgrass, home to the Players.
And home of the Players too, the PGA Tour professionals that play the tour. They basically run and own this wonderful venue. It is their championship, and it's one that each one of those players playing here this week would want to win. It might not be considered a major, but the Players, it is their championship.
Frank, getting set now for one of the more exciting back nines in all of golf right here at TPC Sawgrass.
And it starts at 10. It looks like a dogleg to the left, really, but you've got to play it as a straightaway tee shot. The run out just over 310 yards.
That appeared to be a good strike right there, Frank.
Oh, good. It's just towering. Look at that, hanging in the sky.
Well, it is nice to have that one in your bag, to be able to hit it that long.
Yeah, that has to be at least 315 yards.
Frank, where's the difficulty on this approach here at the 10th?
It's really the shape of this green. That little front piece, you have to be right on the money there. And then, of course, that green starts to open up and then move to the right.
Had a birdie here yesterday, in there close, great opportunity for another one. Frankie's going for 2 birdies in a row.
If he can knock this one in, then that's certainly going to help the confidence.
Oh, I thought he had that. Tough start to the backside, Frank.
Yeah, it doesn't bode well, too. You start losing confidence with the putter early on.
So a tester from 4 feet. And that's in for a par. Hole number 11, 558 yard, par 5. Frank, players in attack mode here.
Yeah, just try and blitz it down there. There are other bunkers on the left to consider, but really, with that much fairway, this is a green light opportunity.
One player told me, Frank, that it's like a root canal appointment. You're thinking about 17 all day long.
I think a root canal at times would be more enjoyable than playing 17 on a windy day.
Playing his second shot here at the par 5. Frank, I think that's going to the bunker.
Looks like it.
He just missed the bunker. Frank, I'm not saying he should pull out driver here, but this is a long putt.
Greens are fast, though. You never know. Good line, good pace. Might have a chance.
So a good lag putt there, Frank.
Yeah, the whole idea of a lag putt, sometimes you build a 3 or a 4 foot circle. Just try and get it inside that. Good putt.
Locked in on the read and the speed. That's an important birdie right there, into the top 5 on this leaderboard.
Well, there's so much at stake this week, Rich.
Now to the par 4 12th, and it's a pretty short hole, Frank.
Yeah, Pete Dye often doesn't get enough credit for his short par 4s. This is a great example where one of the features of it is the blind second shot, just to give you a little bit of doubt on judging the distance. What a great shot.
Frank, that is position A.
Yeah, the tee shot was like silk, Rich. I mean, just sets up that second shot so beautifully.
This drive down the left side, Frank.
Yeah, it creates a blind second shot because of the mounds in front, so a little bit of guesstimation coming up here, but still only a short iron.
This is a good-looking shot. Just a case of a hole suiting the player's eye. Made the birdie yesterday, and he has a good chance to make another one today. These putts keep the round together. Starting to put it together right now, Frank.
Doing that trio at the top.
And Frank, we always like when they have the hole location back left and that ball trickles down, feeds. You can see some really good ones and maybe even an ace here.
Yeah, just like Mickelson a few years ago. Down there, it looked like it was going to flirt with a bunker, ran up and over the ridge, and in it goes. This is one where you have to play ground ball as well as high ball.
Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
Terrific golf shot. And now, that for an easy birdie. This hole's been good to him. Birdie yesterday. Trying for another one today. And with that birdie, moves into second place. Frank, right where you want to be at the midway point of a tournament.
Yeah, you know your game's solid. The focus is more on the leader, and that you can just go out and play. Excellent position to be in.
NBC Golf Channel on EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live third-round coverage of the Players. So the action is underway, and we'll take you out now to our featured golfer here at number 1. Frank, time for the third round, and time for a good start.
That's right. 2 rounds in the bank. And what will today have to offer?
These winds have held up all day long, definitely playing a part in the shot making we're seeing out there today. That's a good spot right there.
Center cut.
Excellent opening tee shot. That ball's right in the fairway. Frank, you want to get out of the gates quickly, hit the proper approach shot here at the first. What does the player need to look out for?
Well, there's 2 distinct levels to this green. There's that left side and then that collection area to the right side. Flag on the top. It's a very, very difficult shot because that bunker plump comes into play.
Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid.
Oh, can't hide the flag stick from that man.
Made par yesterday. This one for birdie. So 1 shot closer to the lead with that birdie. Now to the second. Frank, what do you make of this hole?
Well, over the years, we've seen more and more people hitting 3-wood off this tee. 3-wood's normally easier to draw, and it doesn't run out down that right side.
And that's going to stay on the fairway here at the second hole.
Second shot.
Third shot coming up at this par 5. Still a good chance to make birdie.
Yeah, just make sure you have the right number and the right club.
Frank, when you look at great rivalries in sports, you realize that athletes need each other. Joe Frazier needed Muhammad Ali to achieve greatness, to achieve legendary status. And in golf, Tom Watson needed Jack Nicklaus to push him to another level.
And also to define an era. Without one, we couldn't think of the 80s or the 90s or the 2000s or the 2010s. You need those players to define that era. So you need competition. Competition is not without rivalry.
Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on that. Easy birdie.
Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. That drops for another birdie. 2 in a row to start the round. Setting up for the third hole here at TPC Sawgrass, relatively short par 3 at 177 yards.
But you've got to carry that ball at least 4 or 5 yards onto this green, even when it's firm.
Frank, you like his chances to walk away with a par here?
Well, with a good shot, Rich, yeah, that's certainly on the cards in that. And you think you just write a par down at the end of the hole, don't tell anyone about it. It certainly won't affect the scorecard at the end of the day. So that's the goal right here.
Frank, it hit the green, but just didn't have enough backspin.
You wonder what he was thinking on that.
So at the third, the approach is on the green, but it's a long ways from the cup, about 30 feet away, facing 29 feet.
You'd like that one again?
Frank, that's not one you're necessarily thinking about making.
No, just a good putt, though. There's no two ways about that. He's putting well.
Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. Frank, that is an ugly double bogey, and it came at a really bad time.
We've all been there and we've all felt it. It stings.
Frank, how difficult is it to access the hole location if you miss the fairway here at 4?
Well, if you miss it left, I've got to say the lesser of two evils is to be in the bunker on the right.
That was just a beautiful drive. You hit it solid and right in the middle. Frank, the second here at the 4th is a dangerous shot.
Once again, this is another example of where you have to look at the green. Where exactly is the flag? If it's on that high portion, you've got to fly it all the way back.
Starting off the round very well here, Frank, hitting fairways.
Yeah, like any sport, really, you've got to get off to a good start. We always have that unattainable goal of perfection, but really that's what drives us forward.
I mean, that's how the game is played, right there.
He's just making it look so easy. That birdie coming up, formality.
Made a par in his previous round. This time, it's for birdie. Really hitting on all cylinders now. 9 under for the tournament. 5th hole, good par 4, isn't it, Frank?
If ever a hole was built for Lee Trevino, who used to love to cut it, this would be the hole. It just looks and screams for a shot that's hit left to right. And that's the only way really to avoid bunkers left and long, and that one that's all the way down the right side.
This one's sweet, Frank.
Super.
This is the second shot at the par 4. Seems to like it. Headed for the fat part of the green. That will be a great look at birdie. Frank, this will be a nice way to jumpstart the round.
Yeah, his momentum can quickly go in the right direction if he makes this.
Came to the putt excited to make birdie. Now, settle for par.
Yeah, little change in the attitude right now. When you've let one go, you've got to really knuckle down there and make sure you don't drop a shot. It's important this one goes in.
Doesn't dig into the lead with that par, but Frank, sometimes, and you know this as well as anyone, you just have to kind of maintain your footing out there. Frank, you don't want to get too cute with that second shot here at the 6th.
I remember many a time, Rich, when they put the flag right of center. You try and hit a little bit too close, those palm trees all of a sudden come into play. Hits one of those, that ball can go anywhere. Long and straight.
That's how you do it. Just a good solid tee shot right there, about 280 yards. It is a windy day out here, Frank. My hat just blew off. This is going to affect the players' shots, that's for sure. Just a bit offline here, Frank, but not too bad.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the wind or just the lie there. Should be okay.
So a chance for birdie after another solid approach shot. See if he can go one better than yesterday when he made par. This putt for birdie.
Oh, that was nasty.
That's an outrage right there. I mean, if there's a high commission of golfdom, we need to consult them right now because it's just simply not fair, Frank. It's not.
I think the people above are frowning and the people below.
Did the job right there. So through 54 holes, a really good position inside the top 5 with one round to go.
Yeah, and those handful of players that we're looking at, Rich, they certainly have looked the best players this week, which makes tomorrow look like a real thriller.
NBC Golf Channel on EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live final round coverage of the Players. Welcome once again to TPC Sawgrass for the Players. This is Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo, set to bring you all the action. And Frank, the 17th hole is always the place to be during this great championship.
It certainly is, Rich. The energy, as we know, each and every year has just been electric at 17, and I don't expect it to be any different today.
Frank, Tiger certainly had his adventures here at 14.
Well, we'll never forget that. Spun it left. In the end, was very, very